All right. Good morning, West USA. My name is Keith Flynn. I'm the director. Hey, everybody. Keith Flynn here, director of digital marketing at West USA Realty. Sorry, the music was still playing there, and I was talking over it. So we're good to go, rocking and rolling. Happy Thursday. Beautiful morning. Welcome to the weekly social webinar that I host. Geez, what's my spiel? I always forget my spiel. Anyways, hey, welcome. Glad you're here. As you can see, we're going to be jumping into personal branding for real estate professionals today. No need to go to a live environment. We're going to be all on slideshow here, so you guys won't have to suffer and watch me try to peck and type on the keyboard and misspell things like I normally do. But at the end of the day, we're going to hopefully provide some high value content for you in the way of personal branding for real estate agents. And you guys are your brand. So your face is your brand. Your personality, your basically just the overall persona. Being a memorable person, being someone who people want to connect with, be likable. Those are a lot of the things you're focusing on when it comes to being a real estate agent. And so we're going to cover some of that today. Get rocking and rolling. For the most part, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you could jump into the chat box right there on the right-hand side. Feel free to ask me anything you may be thinking of. Of course, relevant to the topic today. And I'll answer that in a real and live environment. One of the cool things about our webinars is we do record all those. So if at some point you need to jump off, you need to head over to, take a call, do life things, you just rest assured that you can find our recording for today on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, do a search for West USA Realty, and you should see a channel button there. Go ahead and subscribe. That way, and turn on those notifications. You don't miss any of our webinars that we host. Not only mine, but all of ours here at West USA are recorded and thrown onto our channel for your training needs. So you can always revisit those, refresh. Even though I host this on a weekly basis, a lot of our classes do change, especially when it comes to social media. There's an ever-changing world out there when it comes to creating online content. There's always new best share practices, platforms change, new cool things to play with. There's always a shiny new toy. So we try to stay abreast of that and add that into our webinars. So we'll get rocking and rolling here. Like we usually do, we have our sponsors who are awesome and always help out with showing some love, getting the word out there, and of course, obviously providing you as real estate agents feedback and content and awesome resources so that not only learn about becoming a real estate agent, but also learning about the services that are out there and partnering with our sponsors. We have some awesome ones who can really help you guys take your business to the next level. And so it looks like Jill St. Croix from Great American Title is with us this morning. Jill, I know you tried to call me. I apologize. I was getting set up, but how are you today?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Good. Well, good morning. And I will call you back, I promise.
No, it's okay. I was having a little trouble logging in.
Well, looks like you're good to go. I'm happy to have you. So what's cracking and new with Great American Title?
Well, Keith, this is one of my favorite classes because branding an agent is one of my very favorite things to do because I love finding their look, just like picking out your favorite outfit or, going and having your favorite dinner, something that's really, truly you is what branding's all about. And I love creating that look for agents.
Absolutely.
So if you do need help with branding after listening to Keith's all of his wisdom today, reach out to me because I would be delighted to work with you to find the colors, the fonts, the taglines, anything that brands you to you as a realtor that will stand out. We have graphic designers that are amazing, and we're here to help.
It's awesome, Jill. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Jill does have a lot of experience in the industry, has worked with many agents over the years. And so when I talk about how things are changing, she can definitely attest to that. It's never the same thing day by day. You come in and expect to do something completely different and adopt a new style, technique, tool. I'm sure you would agree, right, Jill?
Absolutely. After 17 years, I think I've seen a lot.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So, well, as always, Jill, thank you so much for being a sponsor and joining us on our Thursday morning here.
Delighted to be invited. Thanks, Keith.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right. And then Bree from VIP Mortgage is with us. And as always, she's always a wealth of information. And I'm trying to unmute her for some reason. It's not. Hold on. There we go, Bree.
There we go. Good morning.
What is going on? How are you? Good morning.
I'm doing good. How are you doing this morning?
I can't complain. I'm loving these wake up early in the morning, drive to work with the heater on, and then driving home with the AC in the afternoon.
I know it's crazy. It's so weird. Like I turned the heat on for the first time this week and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, and as we've talked about before, I always geek out on the weather. So if you're listening and this is your first time, fair warning, I will always give you the update on what's happening in our climate.
Exactly. So I'm super excited, just like Jill, about this class. I think it's awesome. I think branding yourself is so important. I have loan office. I work with 3 loan officers. They are amazing. One of the things that we like to do is partner with agents. We do have a lot of really good marketing pieces. If you are looking for anything that you can use in your branding, let us know because we can definitely if you want to reach out, I have different pieces that I can send over that can be co-branded, and we can see if we can kind of get those with Jill. Maybe work together and get them in line with agents' branding, but get some information out that's really beneficial to clients. Because I think that is one of the things that I'm sure you're going to go over is getting things out there that are important to get out to your client, but keeping it in line with where the look is very much in line where you look at it and see, okay, this is that agent and you recognize it for them. So
Oh
I
yeah,
love it. That's one of my favorite things about like marketing.
and that's one of the great thing about VIP Mortgage, Great American Title, and all of our sponsors is that you guys do a great job of helping agents create a visual representation of their real estate personal brand. And I think that's just a great opportunity. And if I were an agent, I would be taking advantage of that.
Well, it kind of helps you. I just really think it's so important to stand out and it helps you to stand out. And so if there is anything that anybody's interested, if you want to brainstorm, anything like that, give me a call. My phone number's right here, or you can email me. It's pretty much the whole alphabet, Bree at VIPMTGINC.com.
Awesome, Bree. Well, thank you again for taking your time this morning and joining us, and always, providing great value and feedback. And if anybody does have any questions, be sure to jump in there and hit Bree up. She's a great resource.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You
Stay
too, Bree. Have a
warm.
great one. All right, so let's get rock and rolling. As I mentioned before, my class is with when it comes to creating a personal brand. If you've seen this one before, I like to stick with this quote from Dr. Seuss. I read Dr. Seuss books with my kids every night before bed, and one of my favorite ones that really stands out, and I think it's so applicable when it comes to personal brand, is today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. And so, reflecting in that and embracing it, you as a real estate agent, as a 1099 independent broker or independent contractor, you are your brand. What you represent, what you do, what you wear, how you look, the way you address people, the things you say, offline, online, are all going to reflect back on you personally, because you're not behind a logo or in an office, in a building represented by a brand or an entity. You are actually your brand. And so what you put out in the world, it's kind of a naked feeling for a lot of people because you can't really hide behind too much stuff. So, embracing excuse me, embracing the fact that you are your brand and thinking about it from that perspective. And we'll go through some of those details when it's, you're thinking like, wow, it's not about my logo. It's about all these other things that I do. And as you start to hone your real estate business, you'll see that, in addition to the myriad of other details that you have to go into when entering the profession, your branding is really important. I think if you're number one, if you're not able to market yourself as a real estate agent, then you're not in business. You've spent many hours, much money to go get your license to become a real estate agent. And whether you're a new licensee or you're an agent who's been in the business for 20 years and you're just falling flat or you're stale, you need to reflect back on your marketing. What are you doing? What are you saying about yourself? What are people saying about you when you leave the room? That's the most important thing. And if you're not in control of that, that's going to really be a detriment to you because you're not going to be able to get up any business. And so, breaking down just some of the 101 for all of us who may have attended a marketing class or have our marketing degree or anything in education about marketing. Marketing is about creating a demand for your product or service. And so for you as an agent, creating a demand for you, for people to use you, for people to want to connect with you, because You either know what you're talking about, get them the best deal, get it done quickly, no mistakes. Whatever you're putting out there, whatever your value proposition is, marketing builds people's interest in using you as an agent. And then your branding is the image of your company, right? What are people saying when you leave the room? Some of your branding is created by you through the way that you visually represent yourself, right? As an agent. So your colors, as Jill mentioned, colors, your fonts, your logos, your visual representation, the physical space in which you take up, whether it's an office, a billboard, a magazine article. When there's continuity and there's consistency throughout your marketing efforts, that anchors into one's mind and they start to visually recognize and remember you. And so the next time they have a need or a want, or they know someone who does, you're going to be top of mind to them. And so it's a very 360 look of your marketing and your branding. And to that point, this little visual representation, marketing is you telling people, hey, I'm a trusted real estate agent. I am an expert in the neighborhood. I am the neighborhood mayor. No one owns this zip code like I do. And once your marketing has taken hold, the goal is now for people to know about you before you know about them. And now they say to you or to another potential client, I understand that he is a trusted real estate professional. I hear or I've seen, excuse me, just getting a little bit over that all that cold and the wind lately is due of some allergies. Your branding is what people are saying about you when you leave the room, as I mentioned, and what they know about you just from what they've seen through social proof, through working with someone who's worked with you. And this goes beyond just clients. This goes beyond into your partners, people that you work with, people who are going to support you as a real estate agent. If you're someone who's not someone really they want to work with because they hear bad things from another vendor or another title or loan, home warranty, appraisal, you name it. If your brand is tarnished because you're beating up on your vendors, then others aren't going to want to work with you. So keep that in mind. It's a very all-encompassing prospect and idea, and implementing it can be a challenge at times. So breaking down your branding and your marketing, a lot of elements go into these two big bubbles. Now on your left, you've got everything from your name of your brand. So you're, of course, Keith Flynn, West USA Realty, or the Flynn Group, or the Flynn Real Estate Team, whatever. If you have a team name or your personal name, a lot goes into your name and your colors. And so your logo is another aspect of that. Your voice is your mission or your vision, your message, how you're putting that out into the world. A tagline, if you've got one. I've got some funny taglines to show you guys down the road here in a few slides. Expectations. Your branding is what expectations are you putting out there that your client should have of you. As I mentioned, your fonts, your colors, your visual stylizing, your personality is a huge one of that. Are you likable? Do people want to hang out and talk to you and spend the next 30 days working with you and bouncing back and forth and having conversations about the sale? And of course, your reputation. What is it that people take away from you after working with you? On the right side there for marketing, you've got everything from campaigns to inbound and outbound calling, your advertising, your offers, your channels that you're using. We'll dive in a little bit about that. Where should you be? Where should you have your messaging? Your promotions, if you've got any media, sales calls, big one, your SEO, if you're using your website correctly, and of course your leads. Where are your leads coming from? What are you using when it comes to generating leads, and where are you tracking your leads? You're loading those sales into your pipeline. Are they cold, warm, hot? It's a big one. And it's very important too. So a lot of times I get, well, what should I do when it comes to personal branding? What can I look forward to, when I have an effective personal brand? Well, number one is a steady stream of ideal clients, right? If you're targeting millennials, if you're targeting first-time home buyers, then that's where you need to be, hyper niched and get into that group, that audience, and be the ideal agent that your ideal client is looking for. What a great brand will help you out too is will reward you with partnerships. Here at West USA Realty, we have a number of mastermind groups, and we have a lot of our heavy hitters, a lot of our top producers get into a room. We do calls, we do team meetings, we have Zoom mastermind groups, question and answering sessions. And when your brand starts to take hold and you're obviously becoming a successful agent, you will be rewarded with great partnerships and you'll be asked to do things and participate in other groups, such as leadership opportunities. With leadership opportunities, people will start to leverage you, ask you questions. You'll start to be recognized as someone who has great information, and naturally, you're going to be invited to participate and give back and share some of those hiccups and trips and things that you've had along the way that you can help other agents be successful. Because I remember a long time ago, someone told me a lot of my success is based on how I've helped another person succeed. And so, it's great to have all this wealth and knowledge and wealth of knowledge and know how to navigate. But what are you doing to give back? What are you doing to help someone else up the ladder behind you? Great mind share. So being like-minded with other people in the room, collaborating, and I know it's hard to connect with COVID right now, but thankfully for technology, we're able to do so via technology and connect on Zoom. Associated with your market niche. So again, diving deep into your community, having a great personal brand, and your niche being, again, probate, flipping homes, remodels, investment, distressed sellers, whatever your niche is. When your brand really has an effect and takes hold, it'll make it much easier to own that niche as well. Greater credibility, of course, that's a big one. And then, of course, recognition and prestige. So each and every year we have award ceremonies, monthly awards, monthly recognition. And those small accomplishments feel good and it motivates us. And, we're humans, so we like praise. We like to be told that, what you're doing is awesome. Of course, we all like to see what our bottom line looks like in our bank account as well. But at the end of the day, good or bad, it feels good to get a pat on the back. And so that's going to be a big one for you as well. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you'll have a higher perceived value. So people will look and say, you know what, that guy knows what he's talking about. He gets it done, and I want to work with him. So a brand is not your logo. It's not your colors, not your font. It's not your brand is not just when I look at at Nike, I think just do it. It's more than that. A brand is a collection of people's perceptions in the mind of the consumer. In their mind, what do they think about you? And do they like me? Do they like my product? Do they like my service? And so when it comes to your personal brand, you have a lot to put out there that's going to give people an idea of what it's like to work with you. And so for the comedic portion of my slideshow this morning, I put together some pretty funny if brands, logos, and slogans were honest. And so, this guy just kind of gets you to rethink the way things are or how we perceive a product or service after a certain time. So Natural Valley granola bars, crumbs everywhere. I know my kids like to eat those, and I pretty much have to vacuum out the car once a week. So, that's the truth, right? MTV, they just got rid of music because it's now just television. They don't actually show videos anymore. If you're like me, Gen Xer, I remember when MTV first went on the airways back in 1980, 81, and it was just 24 hours of videos. Well, it's not that now. So definitely just television. Hot Pockets, right? Every bite is a different temperature. That's for true. Instagram is a great way to mask bad photos with filters. That's for sure. And then for some of us out there, I don't think there's any filter that can make some of our photos look better. LinkedIn, connect with people for no reason at all. I'm sure each and every one of you could attest to this. I've got people in my LinkedIn that I've never even met. Not once. And it's such a big resource for people to cold call and hit up decision makers. And so I thought that was a pretty relevant one there. A few more for you. WebMD. At WebMD, I know I'm guilty of this one. Convince yourself that you have a terminal illness. I often check WebMD, but when you do, just don't go too deep down the rabbit hole because you will convince yourself that you have, tuberculosis. Old Spice, smells like grandpa. That's a good one. Monopoly, great way to lose or great way to ruin friendships. That's for sure. And then my favorite, Lay's, flavored air. It never seems like there's enough in there. They're just selling us flavored air. So anyways, I thought you guys would get a kick out of that one. If you Google if brands were honest or if logos were honest, there is hundreds of them. So enjoy that one. All right. So diving into your brand is your strategy, right? So back in the day, the banks would give a free toaster if you opened up a new account. If you use my product, we'll give you this. So your brand is your strategy. It's your brand's your call to action. So what are you telling your customers? What are you telling your clients, even or potential clients, really, when they haven't used you yet? What do you want them to do? If you'd like to see this home, call me or email me at, or visit this other website. Here are my other videos on how to's. Give call to actions. Tell people what you want them to do, so that you'll increase your chances of them seeing your content and learning more about you and your brand as an agent. Your customer service is a huge one. I mean, we can all attest to this one. And more now than ever in the day of social media, has really pushed and forced the hand of consumers. Sorry, pushed and forced the hand of brands to engage with their customer more now than they ever have. I'm sure, if I know I have, and I don't know about you guys, but I've taken to Twitter before when I'm unhappy or displeased with a service or a customer service provider, like your cell phone, TV, bank, you name it. And companies have designed entirely huge, large customer service focused departments who solely just answer customer complaints via social media. And then as we as consumers, we're conditioned now, and we expect to hear back from our brand. When it used to be a phone call and you'd sit in a queue for 45 minutes. Now it's like, hey, tweet, I just ate your sandwich at Jersey Mike's and it was terrible. Excuse me. What can I do? I want a coupon or my money back, or just complain in general. And so companies are now using customer service and social media to respond. You guys, I'm sure, have seen that too in the way of reviews, people reaching out, messaging you through Facebook and Twitter and so on. The way you speak, are you very monotone? Are you unapproachable? Do you just seem put off every time someone speaks to you? Are you enthusiastic and excited, and you can hear the level of enthusiasm through your voice and the way that your voice fluctuates? And that's a big one. For some people, I know, my enthusiasm can be a turnoff at times, and they prefer to work with someone who's a little older, wiser, more, reserved, maybe have more of a monotone voice. And so the way you speak is important. Of course, being polite and cordial and everything else that goes with it. There's a wide array of communication tools that also will convey your brand. If you're going to step out for a second or you're not available, what are you putting up on the front door, or I'll be right back, or is any signage that you're using? I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize now because I'm definitely going to have a tickle and have to keep coughing. So please bear with me. Your signage, are your open house signs, beat deoxidize? The sun is brutal in Arizona. And so are you putting out open house signs that look like they've been ran over 4 or 5 times by a cement truck? That says a lot about you, and not only about you, but about the brokerage too. So, keep an idea of all those communication tools, whether written, verbal, auditory, that will help and convey your brand. Your people is important too. Not everybody has a team, but if you're on a team or you're working with a team, the other people are on your team are a reflection of your brand as well. When people come into the branch office, the support staff here, we are a part of your team. And so it's important for us to put our best foot forward, because we not only represent ourselves, but also you as a real estate agent. And that's why you hang your license here, is because you know that you're going to be part of a great team, and we will represent your brand the way you want it to be. Also, your vendors. So working with your title and loan, and escrow and all those other folks that you decide to do business with, they're a reflection of your team as well. So when deciding what you want your brand to be, take into consideration those people that you're choosing, because they're going to definitely be a representation of you as well. Your facilities, we love to brag that we have some really nice staffed branches at all of our locations here in the Phoenix area and in Arizona in general. And so the facility is an extension of your business, and so is your open house. So when people come to a home, if the home needs a little tidying up, or needs to check behind the toilet for creepy crawlies or dust, the home you're trying to sell is also a representation of your facilities, and so take that in consideration as well. And it says a lot about you. And of course, the last one, your logo and your visuals are also parts of your branding tool as well. And so, a lot to think about. It's crazy because you really step back and think there's so much that goes into your brand, But hopefully from today, the takeaway is there are either some areas that you need to implement or adjust, or hopefully you guys are just rocking and rolling and you know this, and so you're off and doing well. If you're not branding yourself, you can be assured that someone is doing it for you. And I know I need to probably find another example of this, because this one is kind of getting dated, because I've spoken to a lot of people, and millennials are like, yeah, I don't remember these commercials. So for those of us who do, Mac and PC, Mac used to do a really good job of branding their competitor. PCs weren't really running any like effective advertising in the day. Dell came out with the affordable PC unit that a lot of college students were using. And what Mac did really well was they were branding their competitor, and basically branding how they were either clunky or dysfunctional or were slow. And so Mac used to run these commercials. The guy on the left was a PC, the guy on the right was a Mac. The PC would walk, he was like, hi, I'm a PC. And then Mac would come out and be like, I'm a Mac. And then Mac would basically just like point out all the things that are not good about PC, and they would use the human as an analogy. So a good example back in the day of, if you're not branding yourself, somebody else is. So that's why, if you're not already, take advantage of your advertising, take advantage of your branding, and do a deep dive. It's advantageous for you because you're investing your thought process into your brand and your time. And so like everything, what you're going to put into it, you'll get out of it. And so hopefully today you'll see that. Something you guys can do, so when starting off your brand, the 3 W's of personal branding in real estate is a huge one. Whether you're taking notes or you replay this, however you like to learn and implement this into your marketing strategy, first and foremost, number 1 is, what's in it for me? Get into your targeted client's mind and understand how what they need to solve their problem. What's their pain point? Whether they have a distressed seller, or you had a listing that just wasn't moving, the agent couldn't get anybody in the house to show it. But after you decided to take them on as a client, or they pick you on as an agent, you're implementing some of your best share practices, things that that you've done before in the past. You can show them, look, when my client did this, then we got it on the MLS. We had it on the market for 3 weeks. We got multiple offers, or whatever that value proposition is. But what is their pain point, and what is in it for them if they decide to use you? And the value that you bring to the table, your years of experience, the team around you, technology, whatever the value proposition is. Have that down so that you can offer that to your client when they're deciding to use you. And then, what is the benefit of you? Again, why, if I choose to use you, Keith, as a real estate agent, how am I going to benefit? Well, my average close is 14 days or 45 days or whatever the case may be. Who cares? The who cares test, right? Excuse me. When you're creating your content, there should be a reason and a value add. Why would I care to use you? Content needs to be relevant, so and timely and memorable. How the market fluctuates, things that are changing. The second W in the 3 W's is creating memorable content, so that the next time somebody has a need, or they know someone who does, they're going to think of you. And this is about creating value all the time, not just for your just listed, just sold, or here's the sold, and then there's the couple in front of the house with the key. Those are great, and certainly should celebrate those. But what are the value you're providing to your clients year round, or putting out there on your closed social media groups? And we'll get more into that here in a few slides. But think about the value that you're creating for the people who don't have a need right now, so that when they do, you become memorable. If you're going to share on social media, make it meaningful and timely, not generic. Grabbing a link from the Arizona Business Journal about what's cracking, what's happening for the real estate market in Scottsdale, and you're just repurposing someone else's content. Do a deep dive into that topic. Do your own research and give your own interpretation and your own spin on it. Present yourself as the expert, not just a conduit to pass someone else's information along. The business, reference something else that you've done before in the past that was a success for somebody, and leverage that in your knowledge base so that you can showcase that, hey, I am a respected and trusted agent, and here's why. And the last one, my favorite, is wow, right? What's your wow factor? What is it about you that differentiates you from any other agent that's out there? Yeah, right. Drink of water there. Um, how the wow factor is how it helps you highlight what makes you stand out in a crowd. There's a great book called The Purple Cow, and that if you haven't read that one, it's a fantastic book. Basically, you're just driving down the road, you look over, and you're like, "Wow, look at that! There's a purple cow amongst all those other cows that look the same." What is it about you that gets you to stand out? Um, and an example there I gave is, are you a foodie? Are you someone who likes beer? Are you someone who's an outdoorsman, hiker, biker, hunter? If yoga, whatever you as an agent are into, chances are, and more than likely, you're in it for a reason because you saw someone else doing it and you wanted to do it too. So finding those like-minded groups and leveraging them, leveraging your experience. If you have a passion for food, then let that showcase your personality. You're going to connect with people who also feel the same way about you, and you can really use that as a wow factor to differentiate yourself from your competition. All right, so 5 questions to ask yourself. These are lots of little breakaway here, little tidbits, little things you can fill out. 5 questions you can ask yourself. What are your goals? What are your goals when creating your brand? What is it you want to accomplish? What do you value? Your core. What are your core values when it comes to being an agent? Excuse me here. When you're creating and starting with your values, think about what being in this profession means to you and what you want to help people achieve. What is it you want to do? Now, clearly, the number one answer is yes, buy and sell a home. Understandable. But dig deeper than that. Specifically, what about it is that you want to help them with as an agent? Focus on your niche and who you intend to serve, and then reflect back on those demographics and see, is it the first time home buyer? Is it the downsizing family or empty nesters? And whenever you determine that niche, jump in there and show your value there. What are you passionate about? What is it that you love to do? Let that come through in your branding. If you're into helping with nonprofits or generating interest in food banks or helping out with a special interest. I know today is World Stroke Day. So, if you or someone who is affected by that as a family member, then that's your passion. Get in there. And in that, you will start to make a difference. You'll be a thought leader in that industry or that niche. And in there, too, you'll find people and clients and people you can meet with and build relationships so that when they have a need, then they'll know that you're an agent and it'll be a good fit. What motivates you besides coffee? Susan Slattery, one of our managing brokers here, certainly, well, it's Susan Herber, definitely motivated by coffee. More than coffee, what motivates you to get up in the morning and get out and go do something? Is it to be successful? Is it to run your own business? Is it to manage your own time or not have anyone micromanage you? What motivates you? And think about that and make sure that is implemented into your branding. And what makes you remarkable? That relies back on that last one, which your wow factor, right? So some 5 steps to building your brand. Number 1, when you're building your brand, you want it to be a lasting effect for your personal brand. You want people to remember you, and it's not a one-size-fits-all process, but take inventory around the people, excuse me, take inventory around the people who are around you. What are their skill sets? What are their strengths? What can they do to help you build your brand? It's the power of we, right? No personal brand is built alone. Our colleagues usually are ones going to help us out when we're defining and amplifying our brand. They're going to help us put our brand out there. And so look around you, whether it's family, friend, colleagues, partners, who can help you get to where you need to be. And I guarantee you, you can ask anybody who has become successful, and not one of them, if they tell you they did it by themselves, they're full of it. We all are here to help one another, just like we're here at the brokerage. And so take inventory, see who around you can help out. And of course, don't ever forget to give back. And again, back on my previous slide, being successful is often dependent on or graded on how you've helped another be successful as well. So developing a brand, keep working your worksheet. Okay, so here's where I realized I messed up. I didn't set myself up for success today. I was supposed to load in a worksheet that I have for you. So if you're listening, and whether this is a recording or not, email me. I'm Keith, Keith, at westusa.com. I will personally respond and send you the worksheet that you guys can go through, make a couple copies, and then, your brand's always changing. So reference back, keep working your worksheet. It's just some thought-provoking questions that you can jot down and really start to craft your identity. Really start to, get the meat off the bone and figure out what is it about you that's really going to push your brand and take it to the next level. Choosing the right tools and channels, that's important. I'll dive into a little bit of an example here in a minute. And then measuring and repeating. Too often people just set their brand in motion, and if it's not hitting on all cylinders or something's missing, or they never go back and measure it and see, how is it helping me? Is it helping me? And if it isn't, what do I need to change? And if it is, how do I repeat it? And so just some good steps for you there on that one. All right. So one of the questions I get a lot from our agents is where should I be when it comes to digital presence? Where should I have my website? Where should I host it? What social media should I be using? And I put the question back on a lot of our clients and small business owners in general. This is a great question for anybody, is not so much where you should be, but where are your clients at? Where is your audience? And when you're thinking about where your audience is, think about the easiest thing is break down the age demographic, because at so many different points in our life, at different times in our life, there are certain things that we're going through. And so obviously, kids are in school, teenagers are in school, becoming a young professional, renting, then getting married, all those big life-changing events, having a child. Those times in life are accompanied by the decision on whether or not to buy or sell. And so your audience is important. So knowing your audience and who you want to target is important. So reverse engineer your audience and ask yourself, okay, if I'm going to go after 30-year-olds or the millennials, not 35, 36 and under, they're the largest first-time home buying group. And so the majority of them are on Instagram. And so if that's your audience, or you are a millennial and you're looking to sell to millennials, then naturally you want to be there. That statistic is a little bit wrong. It's actually about 32, 34% now of registered real estate agents are using Instagram and using it effectively. And that's crazy because it's still a low number compared to all the agents that are out there. And considering the fact that almost 60% of Instagram users are millennials. And so if that's your audience, then that is your answer. That's where you need to be. For your 40 plus, that would be me. I'm certainly on Instagram, but I'm also on Pinterest and Facebook. And so 40 plus is the largest growing demographic right now in Pinterest. And if you are a real estate agent, and I know a lot of agents who don't really dabble with Pinterest, but consider that as another style that will help promote your brand and your knowledge, because Pinterest will allow you to create different boards that reflect different aspects of the buying and selling home process. And whether you create a board on Pinterest that's around curb appeal or decluttering, storage, neutralizing a house, whatever the topic is, as you are living your real estate career, you can document the do's and don'ts, the befores and afters, and use Pinterest as a great platform in order to do that. At the same time, getting exposure to that 40 plus demographic. And of course, the last one there, 55 plus, that would pretty much be my parents, who are reluctant and refuse to get onto Facebook. They are the fastest growing demographic right now, because a lot of our baby boomers are starting to dial down, retire, empty nesters. And so they're taking to Facebook to connect with family, friends, businesses, and specifically businesses as well. Over 80% of people who are using social media follow a business or a brand. And so having a presence on Facebook, still the number one used platform, 2.5 billion users on Facebook. There's a lot of monthly users over on there, and still one of the largest platforms, the largest platform that people are signing on to on a daily basis. So good place to be. All right, so other channels that you can take into consideration, obviously your website. I know this is different for everybody, whether your brokerage provides you a free website like we do here at West USA for our agents, or you've got a customized one with bells and whistles, CRM built in on the back end. There's a lot of different choices out there, but if you're, number one thing is definitely got to have a website. And if you do have a website, you need to be using your website effectively. And when I say effectively, I'm talking about visiting your website and putting content on the site, not only for the purpose of education for your clients, but also too for your SEO. A site that just is loaded but doesn't have any movement, meaning there's no content on there that's being refreshed, there's nothing new to it, will ding you and you'll get a lower SEO value. And so the number one place for people websites is to use their blog. Definitely, if you have an opportunity or your site supports a blog, that's where you should be sharing your knowledge. Don't use, it's okay to pepper in links from your other sites like, the Business Journal and the Arizona Republic and, Inman and everything like that. But really, you should be creating your own content and sharing your own knowledge base in a form of a blog, because you don't want to drive traffic to someone else's page. You want to drive traffic to your page, because that's where you want people to learn about not only you, but then they can vet you out as a agent, and that's who they want to work with. And so content living on your website in the form of a blog can then be repurposed for micro content, or priming your social media by sending out the blog to your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. That's a great all-encompassing online presence approach, and certainly would recommend it. Podcasting, for some of you who may not want to be in front of the camera, podcasting is an awesome channel for you to use. Podcasting content creators and listeners are through the roof, listening more now than ever. I saw last estimate that your podcast listeners listen to, on average, 7 hours of podcasts a day. I know if you're like my wife, who listens to the murder mystery ones or those forensic file podcasts, she reminds me daily that she knows how she could take my life and no one would ever find my body. So love you, babe. But no, the podcasts are awesome because we're consuming that content in audio form, and whether we're on the, at the gym, on the bike, riding in the car, people are listening to podcasts, and they're doing so to grow their knowledge base too. Lots of great podcasts for real estate agents out there to help you become a better agent. Of course, your social networks. So we've already talked about that, and I'll beat that horse dead. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on. Your Facebook events. Right now, a lot of us are doing virtual open houses. Use Facebook events to create a virtual open house. Prime your social media, tease that you're going to be doing one, and then obviously load that in. Great opportunity for you to get some traction and build a presence when it comes to your branding. Are you using Google My Business? That's a big one. Google My Business. I actually teach a class on that one. We did a few weeks back. If you go to our YouTube channel, you will see my past one, Keith Flynn, Google My Business. And that will help you create a listing for your business on Google My Business. When people are doing searches for you, you will index and show up as an agent, especially if someone wants to do a review for you, they'll be able to do so and find your listing. So when it comes to becoming a real estate influencer, this is going to be more pointed towards your millennials, your Instagram. When you're building your brand for Instagram, some of the things you really need to focus on is, number one, reason why you're there is for millennials. Number two is establishing trust and likability. Instagram has a lot of great, fun tools that you can use to really build your presence and at the same time gain exposure to the millennial market. It's 60% of millennials have acknowledged that they have bought a product or service from learning about it on Instagram, and a lot of businesses are taking to Instagram to share that because they want to get in front of or get their business and product in front of a millennial, and that's the place to be. Whether you're using video to establish likability, using video to showcase a neighborhood, this is a great place for you to become an expert and showcase that, as well as be a thought leader and really establish yourself as the neighborhood mayor. Instagram is a great tool. The use of Instagram is a tool for you to showcase your abilities, social proof, and showcase an area that you want to work, live, play, and you'll get in front of millennials for sure when it comes to doing that. All right, so do's and don'ts. I put together a few of those, and they're formatted a little squirrely here, and I apologize. But some do's for you. When it comes to your personal brand, audit what people Audit what people or companies can see about you. Go through and do a Google search. This is a really interesting one. I have Google search alerts set up. You could just simply Google Alerts. It's google.com/alerts. You can set up an alert based on keyword terms, topics, ideas. Search and set up one for yourself for Keith Flynn, West USA Realty, in general. And then once that search is set up and it's saved, they will email you. Google will email you if your name appears online today, tomorrow, moving forward, a week from now. And once once a month, my name will pop up. There is a poet named Keith Flynn. So I see his stuff often. But just the other day, I got an alert and I was like, oh, cool. Maybe somebody said something about me. Nah, wasn't me. It was actually a Keith Flynn in Ireland who stole 500,000 pounds robbing banks using old man masks or using these masks. So apparently I'm a criminal in Ireland, which is kind of cool because I'm Irish, but not cool because I don't want to be a criminal. But all kidding aside, set yourself up those alerts and keep an eye on your reputation. Get notified when someone says something good about you. Again, remember controlling your brand, and jumping in on it, especially if it's negative, and addressing it and making sure that you have a great reputation online. Um, excuse me. I apologize. Associating with other brands, dues, definitely engage with your vendor, connect with them, ask them how they can help you. Engage with positive online communities like charities. If you're with West USA, we have West USA Cares. They do a lot of great things to support a lot of nonprofits and community, all of our agents in each of their communities. So each branch has a brand ambassador for West USA Cares. Reach out, connect with them, ask your manager if you want to get involved. If there's something you're passionate about, they definitely would love to be a part of it as well. Join closed groups on Facebook. We've got all of our closed groups, so definitely do jump into your closed groups at each of our branch locations. Connect not only with other real estate agents out of your branch, but also stay abreast of what's happening at West USA. And not only our closed groups, but then in those closed groups for each community neighborhood. You'll probably already know this, but I can't enforce it enough because it is a huge play for 2020, 2021. Get into those closed groups, and if you don't see one for your location, then create one for a neighborhood that you want to farm, grow, establish yourself as the neighborhood mayor. Great play for you in that respect. Stand out without selling. It doesn't always have to be about real estate, and I see this a lot. It's a pet peeve of mine when the only content that people put on social media is the just listed, just sold. You're more than that. Your business is more than that. Your community is more than that. So, be more than a realtor for your social media. Be a connector. Be someone who's in the know. Talk about the best places to eat when the weather cools down, great patios, best splash pads to visit within a 10-mile radius, outdoor exercising community groups. Get in hyper niched into your community, find out who has what, who needs what, and then be that connector. I just read in the Foothill News paper for North Phoenix area. They are looking for company sponsors for Adopt a Family for the holidays. And whether you're a brand or company or independent contractor, agent, awesome opportunity for you to get into a neighborhood, adopt a family out of that neighborhood, and then, go around to your resources and collect, toys and things for that family for this time of year, and then leverage that, because not only are you helping somebody, but then you're also making connections and building relationships in that community, and then add those people into your CRM, and then obviously get them on your drip campaign, and build yourself as the neighborhood mayor. And in doing so, obviously you'll feel good at the same time. So who doesn't love to help somebody else, right? Don't be cocky. Look, hustle hard, promote your small or celebrate your small accomplishments, but stay humble. Be tactful about the things that you talk about when you are going to come off as a subtle or a brag. Avoid being preachy or tooting your own horn. I know we're in a very what's the word I'm looking for? We're in a very funky climate when it comes to politics. So stay away from, preaching all your beliefs. I know this is hard for a lot of people because we want to get involved, have conversations, but then they turn, negative. Try your best to keep it positive. Celebrate your successes. Avoid those topics that you would not talk about in a job interview, like, religion, sex, politics, any of those, taboos. Don't want to go there because you don't want to turn anybody off to your business if at all possible. Avoid when it comes to creating, titles. Don't stay away from labeling yourself a guru, master, ninja, doctor. It's just like they're kitschy. They're not really going to help you out at all. Just be professional. Keep it simple. Don't label yourself as any of those. What's the other one? Oh yeah, sensitive material. So no brainer on this one. Don't post incriminating images, anything bad. Certainly not your client's information. I've seen a couple photos that were close to being like, you're at signing and there's a lot of documents on the table. Yeah, you want to take that photo to celebrate not only your success but your clients. But be mindful. People can zoom in, and if they see something that may, sensitive material. So just be mindful of that when you're posting your content. And then, don't overshare. This is a big one when it comes to social media and your brand. Try not to overshare. Be consistent, not constant. And when I say consistent, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are the 3 days you post. Assign each one of those days a topic. If Monday motivational, the last Friday of the month is, you do a home evaluation, post or talk about how people can get one. Uh, what's another one going? Yeah, don't be negative. Keep it positive when it comes to your content. Try to stay away from personal drama. I know deals fall through. I know sometimes lenders are hard to work with. If somebody within your organization is a challenge, try to keep it offline. Always try to give positive, because people want to read, they want to see high value content, and negativity is just not really valuable for them. So bottom line here, your presence on social media is highly conspicuous part of how you market yourself to the world. We are all online. We are all taking to online to find out and learn about our people, product, places, services, where to eat, where to go. Online is certainly important, and having control over your online presence is going to be advantageous for you. And so, some apps I've put together for you here that will really help you elevate your social media game to the next level. Word Swag is a cool one. There is a monthly fee for that, but you could take an image, load it into the app from your camera roll, and you could drop some text over it there. I know I've got Word Swag on there. They've got some really cool fonts, but honestly, skipping down to Adobe Spark and Canva, they offer they offer free platforms for you to basically accomplish the same thing. And they've got some amazing templates that you can use to get your creative juices going, especially around the holidays. I teach a Canva class. I don't know if I have one coming up. Yeah, actually, I think I do next month. Check westusacalendar.com. Westusacalendar.com has not only my webinar, but all of our webinars here at West USA. And I have a Canva class coming up. We're going to talk about, it's our holiday one. So I'm going to have holiday themed, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of great time, a lot of great time of year to create great content. And so Spark and Canva are awesome. PicArt is a good one too, as well as Typorama. These all allow you to create some really neat visuals, put some awesome overlays onto your, not only your static images, but also video if you're going down that route as well. So check those out. Like every at the end of all my webinars, I'm on social media, of course. I wouldn't be teaching this if I wasn't. You got to be a practitioner before you can be a teacher. And so hopefully with that, I've provided some value for you today, at least a couple takeaways, food for thought on what you can be doing to either implement or reevaluate your personal brand. Love to connect with you. By all means, would love a shout out. Follow me on any one of my social medias. Email me. I'm keith@westusa.com. Of course, I'm always here for you to help out. Happy to take a 30-minute call, jump on there, figure out what I can do to help you out implementing and getting into your social media. We'll take a look at what you're doing, what you want to do, and how we can get you to successfully do it the right way. Next week, we have what's coming up. Man, I cannot believe it's already November. This is crazy. Hold on here. West USA. I got to type in the calendar real quick, and I know you guys aren't watching this, but Let's go ahead and take a look what's coming up next Thursday at 10 a.m. We'll be jumping into November. Facebook Basics for Real Estate Professionals. So as I do first Thursday of every month, I jump back to Facebook. It's ever changing. There's always new stuff in there. If you want to get your Facebook rocking and rolling and you haven't done so, be sure to join us next week. But as always, thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. Please be safe and be kind to one another, and we will see you next week.